Hello and welcome to Re-enthused. Today we are taking a look at the VideoNow. Also, I apologise if you get any background noise. We are currently in the middle of Storm Dennis, which is causing more than a little bit of noise in the background. Anyway, yes, the VideoNow. So the VideoNow was started as a portable video player by Hasbro in 2003 and was released by one of its subsidiaries, Tiger Electronics, who we know quite well for various LCD based things. Yeah, it's a mini optical disc player. It uses discs called PVDs, or personal video discs. Each one of those stores about 30 minutes of video. Originally they were monochrome, so like this one. This is one of those discs. So this is one of the original VideoNow discs. You can see it's quite small. If I bring in a normal CD, you can see it's quite a bit smaller than a normal CD. These ones were monochrome, but eventually did release colour ones. So in terms of sound, the audio is mono for the reason that all of the video data is actually stored where the left channel would normally be, so all of the audio is on the right channel. And the quality, but we'll see a bit of quality later on. Now, as you can probably see by what you can see of this disc, Hasbro did manage to gain a few licenses to use on this machine. The main ones being from Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. So it covered various popular shows like obviously SpongeBob SquarePants, but also things like Dexter's Laboratory as well from the other side of the pond. So, yeah. There was some really good children's stuff on this, which is obviously what it was aimed at. So it's good that there was a lot of really good children's content on this. Some real favourites as well were released. So about, I think, well over 100 discs eventually released. A lot of them were just kind of 30-minute episodes of things, and that was it, because these discs did not hold very much. But definitely an interesting device to give to a child if you're on a journey or something. I think it was well placed and it didn't do too badly either. Whilst these original units were designed to have this by the pre-recorded discs, they did eventually release some editing software that would help you create custom discs. And obviously these were, again, non-standard, so you couldn't just buy them in the shop. So Hasbro actually did sell recordable versions on their website as well. Now, whilst this isn't designed to use normal CDs, there have been numerous attempts to make it, so cutting down CDs to fit in near here and also modifying some of the machines so they could use full-size CDs, like the XP especially, which we'll get onto later, is there's a lot of hacks getting that to run normal-size CDs, with differing results. Some of them do actually seem to work quite well. Others not quite so well, but so people have tried, and there are definitely tutorials out there to make it, so they are kind of still viable. Now, I've got two versions of the player, so this is the original VideoNow, but there were five main versions released altogether. There were some special tie-in ones as well, but there were five main editions really released. So yeah, this again, the original one is this one. This is a monochrome screen. You can see the screen there. It's got no backlight, but they did sell this optional add-on. So this is an optional accessory, which is a small light, which, if I do that, there you go, to act as a front light for it. It doesn't do great, but it's better than nothing. And these, just played monochrome discs, and they could only play the monochrome discs, not any of the later discs, for obvious reasons. The release after this one was the VideoNow Color, which, as you can imagine, adds color. But it also adds a screen backlight and also forward and reverse, because this doesn't have forward and reverse. This really does play discs. You'll see the difference in the interface a bit later on. We see one of the other machines. It also had a slightly larger screen as well, which meant that although it could play the discs from this machine, they were slightly cropped to fit in with the new ratio of the screen. The PVDs also were a tiny bit larger. The Junior came well, basically the same time as the colour, and that was really a version of the colour that was designed for even younger children, so preschoolers. So, as you can imagine, brighter colours, bigger buttons, stronger construction, and the actual PVDs themselves, the discs themselves, were made more flexible, so they wouldn't snap if a child got hold of them and tried to bend them. So that was released by another Hasbro subsidiary called Playskool, which I think probably quite a few people have heard of. The XP, now we get on to the other machine that I own. We'll bring this one in. So this is the XP. This was released next. Now, this is really kind of an iteration on the colour. So it has all the features of the colour. Again, a slightly larger screen, but it also adds in these, which are, well, you probably see what they look like. It's a crosshair, and these are indeed game buttons. We'll get onto that a bit later. This is kind of the reason why I bought one of these in the first place. Mine's a little bit beaten up. I'll talk about it in a minute, but yeah, it's got some damage, but it does work. And finally, there was the FX, and really that was just an XP, but with lots of other options, including translucent plastic and things like that. But basically, it was just a redesigned XP. There was no technical advancement there, just design advancements. Right, so let's go to the XP. We'll talk about the XP now. So here we are. Released in 2005, and yeah, as I said, it adds these game controls on. So we have our normal media controls here. These are the ones that are added in to the color model, so you can just standard media buttons that you expect to see really on any kind of player. But yeah, added on these game buttons as well. Now, game button makes you probably think a little bit. The games are they're more geared towards kind of quick time event games, like kind of the Dragon's Lair thing, and also simple quizzes. There were no like arcade games and stuff added to the library. I don't think any real game logic was ever added in. It was just effectively like adding games to DVDs. It was basically a similar thing to that, where these were just extra navigation buttons and just let you choose options. There were a couple of games released which were literally just games. So Batman, but again, they're just quick time event games. But mostly it was you'd buy one of the XP compatible discs. Again, the XP could play all of the backwards compatible games, but there were also special XP discs as well, which had games added to them. And again, normally just quick time events or quizzes based on the series you were currently watching. Right, so as we take a look at the machines themselves, again, you see the buttons. These are the normal media jog buttons. The game ones, which is standard controller and a couple of an A and B button. If we look at the front, we've got this locks the CD. This is the CD eject button. So if we push this, the whole of the machine opens up like that. So you can see just a standard, it's like a standard Discman really at that point. And we have a power jack and a headphone socket, obviously. On the back, we have volume and contrast controls. Now, if we go to the bottom, you can see here, we have, because it's a kid's thing, obviously, it's got a screw which protects the battery. So if we open this up, there we go. And we see a battery compartment which can hold 3 AA batteries. Battery life wasn't terrible. I think the XP on these the three AA's could last for around about 5 to 8 hours. It's a very simple machine, really, but that's a good car journey, which is what you really needed. And again, obviously, it had the power adapter as well. So there we go. Pressing a few buttons, and we get the screen to come on. Go straight back off again. If we open her up, and we can put a disc in. So this is obviously one of the monochrome discs, which will play, but will have the same cropping issue as you just see the, just see it. You can hear the disc spinning. And there we go. So we do get a small menu here. This is cropped off because again it's not really designed for the...
Check it out! It's VideoNow! Congratulations! You now own the latest innovation in entertainment technology. What else would you want? VideoNow is the best portable mini video disc player ever. It's really cool. Watch many of your favorite shows, anytime, anywhere.
All the coolest shows.
Take it with you in the car, on the bus, at home, and outside while you're on the go.
My favorite shows in the palm of my hand.
Collect all the VideoNow discs and enjoy the best in endless entertainment.
Choices. Lots of choices.
Your instruction booklet includes every...
Right, that's enough of that. We can just hit stop and that will turn that off. So if we put in a colour disc, you can kind of see the difference. So oh, they came in several different cases, by the way. I don't have any of the big cases. They did come in slightly dual cases like DVDs did, but these were two slightly different ones. So you had this, which tended to be for samplers and specials, but also these little cardboard ones, which tended to be sold cheap or added to some magazines, got them free as well. On the back of this one, it literally says doesn't work with the monochrome one because this is a colour disc. And as you can see, if we bring out this... Oh, we bring out the monochrome one, let's see the size difference there is quite substantial. Actually, let me see if I can find a GameCube disc so you can see the size difference there. Alright, there we go. So we have the amazing Starsky and Hutch. So, as you can see, the GameCube disc is smaller than the colour one. And if we compare it to the PVD, it's slightly smaller than that. So basically they were very non-standard sized discs. There we go. So if we put this in the colour and open her up. So there you go. It's a much clearer screen this time.
Are you ready,
I'm probably going to mute most of this so I don't get a copyright strike. Anyway, that's all we're going to do with that because otherwise we'll get a copyright strike. I don't own any proper game disc, unfortunately. Again, though, you're not really missing much. I've got this little, it was actually an accessory they sold, which is a little wallet, which has a couple more discs. But again, they're fairly standard. There's nothing different. Yeah. So that's the two. Let's go. There you go. There we are. That's the two VideoNow machines. They're interesting little devices. I think for the time, for what they were pretty good. I can see them being useful for kids. Nowadays, obviously, with the advent of phones, not quite so much. But back in this day, giving one to a kid for a car journey or a train journey, it will keep them quiet for a little bit at least. And yeah, definitely fun. The game thing came quite late, and it was really just a token add-on. We're never really going to compete with things like Game Boys and stuff, but I guess they tried to keep it alive. But yeah, they're fascinating machines. You can get them relatively cheap on eBay, and they're fun to own. I quite like them. I might at some point try and get a slightly better condition XP. And I'm going to try and get some of those game discs, but they're the ones that seem to go for the higher prices. Right. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like. If you really enjoyed the video, please hit subscribe. If you didn't enjoy the video or you have something else to say, please leave it in the comments below. See you next time.